On the night the oracle trembled, the world itself held its breath. The moon hung over the mountains like a pale, ghostly scar, and the land fell into an unnatural, profound silence. There was no wind to stir the leaves. No animals moved through the shadows. It was as if the entire world sensed what was coming and waited in frozen fear for the very first sign of its arrival. Far beyond the towering spires of the City of Crowns, a lone figure walked a broken stone road. He was once a celebrated warrior of kings, a legend in his own time. But now he was forgotten, an exile cast out by his own people. The only thing he carried was the heavy, invisible weight of his past. Suddenly, the ground beneath him shivered. He stopped, his senses on high alert. At first, he thought it was just a trick of his mind, a phantom feeling born from exhaustion. But the tremor didn't stop. It deepened, growing stronger, vibrating through the soles of his boots. Ick knelt down, pressing his calloused hand flat against the cold earth. He could feel it now, a deep, resonant pulse. Somewhere inside the mountain looming ahead, something that had slept for uncounted centuries was beginning to wake. At that very same moment, in the sacred halls of the Temple of Echoes, a different, more chilling silence unfolded. The eternal flames, sacred fires that had burned without interruption for hundreds of years, began to shrink. Thalia, a young acolyte on a nightly vigil, watched in wide-eyed disbelief as each precious flame wavered, sputtered, and died. One by one, they went out, plunging the grand temple into an oppressive darkness it had never known. Just as the last light vanished, a piercing, unearthly cry broke the stillness. The oracle, the temple's revered seer, collapsed onto the cold marble floor, her eyes rolling back into her head. When she spoke, her voice was a terrifying thing, split into two dissonant tones, speaking a language older than any known prayer, older even than any god worshipped by humankind. Across the sprawling city, in a quiet room lit only by the flickering glow of candlelight, the Scala Dorian was poring over forbidden tablets, records of a history the world had tried to erase. As I watched his breath catching in his throat, the ink on one of the ancient scrolls began to move on its own. The letters writhed and twisted as if alive, rearranging themselves before his very eyes. They finally settled into a single, impossible message. The first creator restores its memory. That night, 3 separate lives, a warrior, an acolyte, and a scholar, began to move toward the same shared destiny. The exiled warrior, feeling a pull he couldn't explain, turned his gaze toward the trembling mountain. Thalia, standing in the silent darkness of her temple, felt a hidden call echoing in the emptiness, a summons from a power she did not recognize. And Dorian, the scholar, knew with chilling certainty that the ancient words he had just read were no mere metaphor. The world was remembering something it had long and desperately tried to forget. When the warrior finally reached the base of the mountain, he felt the earth itself breathing beneath his feet. A pale, ethereal light began to rise from within the stone, flickering softly like a heart learning how to beat again. And just beneath that trembling light, hidden from sight for ages, stood an ancient, colossal door. A door that had opened for no one in living memory. Until, tonight, the warrior took a cautious step closer, his shadow stretching long and dark across the glowing stone. From deep within the mountain, the faintest whisper seemed to echo out. A voice carried on the vibrating air itself. It said, "I remember what you have forgotten, and I am waking." Thank you for watching. If you want to see what happens next, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're just getting started on this journey, and you won't want to miss a single moment.